Welcome back to the Mystery Box series. I am using the Spooky Nights collection by Simple Stories. And this is the second collection that I pulled out of my DIY mystery box. If you want more information about that, I'll link that in the upper right hand corner. But we're going to be creating with this today. And I decided to pull out photos from this year's Halloween. And I have two photos of my son with his Halloween costume and then with his candy, because this is the most important part of Halloween, right? And I found a sketch somewhere. I thought it was 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, but looking at this series, it was not. So I'm thinking maybe it was Scrap a Sketch. I have no idea. But essentially, there was two photos in the middle with chevrons kind of just going right here. And I have a hack for creating chevrons. Notice I had started with my mat here that has a 45-degree angle. And then I remembered on the Creative Memories trimmer, they have a 45-degree angle. And this is one of the best features, and one of the reasons why I purchased this trimmer is because of this 45-degree, because it makes creating chevrons super quick. So, for example, I have a scrap piece of paper here. I used it for my die cutting, and I'm just going to fold it in half, okay? And then I'm going to use this 45-degree angle to my benefit. I'm going to line my 45-degree angle up, and right here is going to be the point of my chevron. That's the folded spot, and I am just going to cut, okay? So making sure it's folded in half. And then I'm going to move my piece of paper down, keeping it along that 45 degrees. And I'm going to line it up with a 1-inch mark. So I cut and I get a chevron. Like, what a neat thing to do. And then I can continue. I can make these as thick or as thin as I want. Say I go to the 1/2-inch mark there. Now I have a chevron that is a lot skinnier. So you can make as big or as little of that you want with this hack, and then you've got some leftover pieces that you can make cards with. That is how I made all the chevrons that I'm going to be using on this layout. Now, I am actually going to be using a ton of the paper that I cut, including the cutoffs, and so I'm going to adhere them as I go, because having a background that is movable really irritates me. So let me get this all adhered. Having a background that wiggles is hard to film with because it will move every single time I touch it. And even when I was creating this layout, because what I do when I'm filming is I put everything together and then take it all apart and then put it all together again for you. So it was kind of a pain to plan this layout. So I'm even using the offcut to cover this 12 by 12 piece of paper essentially. Now, I originally chose black because I thought maybe I wouldn't blanket it with cardstock, but once I decided to do that, I'm not gonna take away the black. I might as well just keep it the way that it is. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the orange, which is the back side of this. And you can kind of see I have a pencil mark right here. I was trying to measure the chevron center and I knew it wasn't lining up, and I was like, oh, wait a second. I have my Creative Memories tool. I might as well use it. So I'm just gonna try to line everything up here, overlap it a little bit just to make sure everything lines right. I'm even gonna use the offcuts of the orange, and I'm gonna go ahead and adhere them now, because I want to make sure that I have the right sizing on this. I'm going to go ahead and use my mat to my advantage and try to line these up so that there's 3 inches here and 3 inches there, and then 3 inches here and 3 inches there, and then make sure that I can cover this spot. Perfect. And then have this covered as well. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over because I already put adhesive on it. I want to make sure that I can get all of this lined up correctly, because that's gonna be a big deal. Now I've got the orange triangles adhered. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this one, and that's gonna look like that. Make sure it's all covered right there, to the edge and to the edge, and then edge and edge. Perfect. And then put this one up and get that edge going and this edge going. Beautiful. Now I can just use my scissors to cut off the excess, and it'll look like a super cute chevron. How cute is that? Now that I've got my base down, I can put my photos down, and I'm going to cover the seam. You can really see the seam on this colored cardstock. So that's where I'm going to put my photos. And then I don't like this weird space right here. I'm going to go ahead and use one of those spider doilies that I had talked about when I grabbed my supplies. They are one of my favorite things for Halloween. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tack these down, and if I have to move them, I have to move them later. I'm just gonna use a little bit of adhesive because I want to get these stickers down too, and I just want to be able to plop them on. That's gonna act as like a cluster base for my title. So my title is Halloween candy. What kid doesn't love Halloween candy? And I have put my stickers on some acetate from collections that I purchased. Now, it really is hard to get these off. So that's why once I peel them up, oh no, yeah. Once I peel them up, I don't want to put them back down. So, should have been slower. Bummer. It'll be what it is. Okay, so Halloween is gonna go, I'm gonna say right there. And then this part that I ripped needs to lift so that I can get it on here perfectly. That's a bummer. I lost my planner guides from We Are Memory Keepers. So, making do with regular plastic doesn't make do. So don't recommend that. And I thought this is super cute on here. And I don't know that I'm going to add this part to it. We're just going to go ahead and adhere this though, because it's super cute. And I'm going to leave everything kind of flat on this layout at this point, minus my flare. I was able to get some flare on this. So, and then the word candy, it's going to go here. And I'm doing the polka dots because the chevrons are too busy. I think the polka dots are super cute. Candy. Okay. And then I'm going to move this up. Yeah. So there's not quite such a big gap right there, and that's okay. Not going to worry about that. And then I have a die cut that I made for another Halloween layout, and I just cut a couple. And this says, the neighbors have all the good candy. And how cute is that little house? And I have some candy I can add like right there. And then I've got a little bat. And this was just from that random assortment of stuff that I picked up for Halloween. Like, look at how cute that is. And then I've got a flare, which we had talked about. I want to try to add a flare to every layout that we do in this series. It says, when it's good and you know it. So fun. And then I've got a couple other pieces I thought it'd be cute to add because I want to get some more of that yellow, but I also have a little ghost. So let's add a little ghost up in this window. And this candy has a little heart on it. Super cute. And then I've got a couple extra pieces, but we'll get to that. And then I want to add some stuff up here. I want to add some of that yellow. So it says out and about. And here's that potion. And I can add those kind of in a little cluster right there. And then I've got another piece of candy where I can kind of tie these in together, and another piece of candy just to kind of make it a little bit of a cluster right there. It might be fun to add a little ghost. I do have a ghost, and maybe I do a ghost right here instead. Here, this one's flat. It's not pretty, but it's flat, just so we can see. Yeah, I think that's cute. So I got that one, I got this one, and then my final cluster is going to be right on top of my photo, and it's going to say best costume. And my journaling is probably going to land right about here, is what I'm thinking. And then I've got sweet smiles, because again, we're talking candy, we're talking the costume, and I've got a little bit of a poison potion here to add, and then a little ghost, because I've got a ghost here, a ghost here, and a ghost here. And then I also have this that says RIP, and so I thought that'd be fun to add to my little cluster here. I think I want to keep that up there. I have a couple extra items I can add. Honestly, I might need something right here, but I think I can use clusters, or I can use maybe some of these stars, or just leave it blank. Honestly, I might just leave it blank. So those look really good, and that's my layout. I will take some close-ups so you can see where I put the journaling and that kind of thing at the end of this video. So this is layout number 1. I think I'm going to do a second layout, but I have to get permission to show those photos. So I want to do that before I move on to the next installment of Mystery Box. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.